Time for an AFN News Update. I'm Bronson Woodruff. Stocks are rising on Wall Street and around the world to recover some of the historical losses since last week when President Donald Trump announced sharp increases in taxes on goods imported to the United States. The S&P 500 was up 3.4% in early trading today. The Dow Jones Industrial Average was up to 1,230 points, or 3.3%. The NASDAQ Composite was 3.6% higher. Overseas markets also rose sharply, and the price of U.S. crude oil rose a bit after touching its lowest level in 4 years. Treasury yields are also rising again in a potential signal that investors are gaining more confidence in the U.S. economy's path ahead. Meanwhile, Chinese Premier Li Qiang on Tuesday spoke on the phone with EU Commission President Ursula von der Leyen, saying that China and Europe should boost communications, expand opening up markets to each other, and jointly defend free and open trade and investment. China says it will fight to the end and take countermeasures against the United States to safeguard its own interests after President Trump threatened an additional 50% tariff on Chinese imports. The Commerce Ministry said today the U.S.'s imposition of so-called reciprocal tariffs on China is, quote, completely groundless and is a typical unilateral bullying practice, end quote. China is the world's second largest economy. It's announced retaliatory tariffs, and the ministry hinted in its latest statement that more may be coming. The Commerce Ministry said, quote, the U.S. threat to escalate tariffs on China is a mistake on top of a mistake, and once again exposes the blackmailing nature of the U.S. China will never accept this. If the U.S. insists on its own way, China will fight to the end, end quote. The Supreme Court on Monday allowed the Trump administration to deport Venezuelan illegals using an 18th century wartime law, but it said they must get a court hearing before they are taken from the United States. It was a bitterly divided decision. The court said the administration must give Venezuelans who it claims are gang members reasonable time to go to court, but the conservative majority said the legal challenges must take place in Texas instead of a Washington courtroom. In dissent, the 3 liberal justices said the administration has sought to avoid judicial review in this case, and the court, quote, now rewards the government for its behavior. Justice Amy Coney Barrett joined portions of the dissent. That's all for this AFN News Update. You can find more information on these stories, as well as more stories from a Christian perspective, on afn.net, that is afn.net. Also, our Share-a-thon is going on today, tomorrow, and Thursday. AFA is donor-supported, so we hope that you'll consider making a donation to help us continue in our work. Thank you for watching. I'm Bronson Woodruff.